There's a saying in royal circles, the quieter the gesture, the louder it speaks. And this week, amid centuries-old robes and solemn ritual, one of the firm's most unshakable figures made just such a gesture, barely visible, yet impossible to ignore. Before we unravel the detail that lit up social media, we need context. The British monarchy rests on layers of inherited tradition, but it survives by embracing evolution in deliberate steps. Today's tale is a masterclass in that delicate dance, a single glimmer inside the 700-year-old spectacle known as the Order of the Garter. Picture Windsor Castle at daybreak. Dawn mist curls along the long walk like a silvery ribbon, retreating as sunlight ignites the honeyed stone walls. In the quadrangle, liveried footmen polish carriage lanterns until they gleam like new coin. Tourists outside the Henry VIII Gate exchange rumors about who will appear first. Inside St. George's Chapel the hush is almost physical. Candles sputter, incense drifts upward, shards of stained glass scatter jewel tones across ancient flags. This is the stage on which the Princess Royal will step, and the spot where she will depart, ever so slightly, from the royal script. Welcome back to the channel, where we explore tradition, tension, and the human impulses pulsing beneath velvet capes. Today our lens narrows onto Princess Anne, a woman who rarely feeds the fashion columns and yet, through one understated decision, has rewritten a tiny line of palace protocol. Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal. Princess Anne. At 73 she still logs more engagements than any other working royal, often cramming 3 counties and 4 uniforms into a single day. She is famous for brisk walkabouts conducted at the pace of a military march, for no-nonsense quips that leave reporters scrambling, and for viewing clothes as sturdy tools, not personal billboards. She has no Instagram, no stylist entourage. Her public image is built on action, not aesthetics. So when she does something even slightly unexpected, the royal world leans in. The moment unfolded during Britain's most ceremonious calendar entry. Founded by Edward III in 1348, the Order of the Garter is the realm's highest order of chivalry. Only 24 companions may wear its star at any given time. Each June they robe themselves in midnight blue velvet mantles lined with white satin. Ostrich plumes nod atop broad Tudor bonnets. Trumpeters blast a fanfare that rattles the diamond-paned windows. King Charles III led this year's procession, Queen Camilla beside him, followed by Prince William, Prince Edward, the Duke of Gloucester, and of course, Anne, her mantle sweeping stone like a midnight tide. Beneath it she wore full military dress, epaulets gleaming, ribbons precisely parallel, boots polished to a mirror. Everything, it seemed, was timeless, until the light shifted. As the procession rounded the final bend toward the chapel doors, sunlight struck Anne's face. Cameras clicked in rapid-fire bursts. Sharp-eyed spectators saw it first, a glint at her lips. Not the matte rose she has worn for decades, not the nearly invisible balm favored by Queen Elizabeth II, but a whisper of shimmer, soft, pearlescent, undeniably modern. It lasted a heartbeat, yet with that gleam an unwritten rule, honored since the 1950s, cracked. Inside, the firm appearance isn't vanity, it is language. Under Elizabeth II, senior women absorbed a silent code: sheer nude nails, matte lipstick, zero sparkle. The late Queen's own palette barely changed from her coronation day onward. Anne mastered that code so completely that insiders joke she could assemble her uniform in the dark and still pass inspection. So why step half a shade outside the line? Observations poured in. Hello. Magazine's acting beauty editor Cassie Steer called it an elegant nudge toward modernity. Social feeds lit up with zoomed-in stills. #Shimmergate trended for hours. Some pundits predicted a quiet palace reminder, others argued and had earned the latitude to define the code. Either way, the debate proved how fiercely controlled royal visuals have always been. And that leads to Windsor's deeper tension. How to Evolve Without Eroding. Charles III is only 2 years into his reign, defining a slimmer monarchy amid shifting public attitudes. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has embraced sharper tailoring and saturated jewel tones as she matures toward queenship. Even Queen Camilla has traded some country garden florals for streamlined silks. Within that atmosphere, Princess Anne's shimmer feels like another breadcrumb on the path to modernization. To grasp how quietly radical that shimmer is, consider Anne's history. She was the first British royal to compete in the Olympic Games, riding for the eventing team in Montreal 1976, mud-splattered, fearless, 24th on the scoreboard, but first in symbolic impact. She survived a kidnapping attempt in 1974, famously telling the gunman, "Not bloody likely." She's colonel of multiple regiments, patron to more than 300 charities, and the quiet architect of Save the Children's global reach. So when such a life-tempered figure chooses shimmer, it isn't whim, it's a calculated punctuation mark at the end of a decades-long sentence. Let's linger on the ceremony itself. Preparations begin at dawn. In the royal mews, grooms braid plume crests into horse manes while liveries check every strap of harness leather. The state landau, lacquered a red so deep it looks almost black in shadow, waits in the cobbled courtyard. Military bands rehearse their drum rolls on the north terrace, the thump ricocheting off ancient stone like a heartbeat from centuries past. Castle kitchens lay out trays of finger sandwiches topped with smoked salmon roses, because tradition, like appetite, must be fed. Regalia tells its own story. The mantle's silk lining flashes white as members turn corners, echoing the linen underskirts of medieval armor. Each knight and lady wears the Star of the Order, an 8-point silver badge that fans outward like a compass rose, centered on the red cross of St. George. Beneath the left knee sits the actual garter, midnight blue, edged in gold, its French motto Honi soit qui mal y pense, daring you to question the wearer's honor. A lipstick that catches chapel light slips into that vocabulary as seamlessly as any embroidered thread. Beauty protocol, by contrast, is rarely written down, yet everyone backstage knows it exists. Makeup artists hired for royal tours receive briefing packs thicker than hotel Bibles, foundation shades, approved nail tones, eyeliner angles permissible under soft palace lighting. The rule of thumb: the face must never compete with the duty. Sparkle, therefore, has lived on the banned list alongside loud perfume and runaway hats, until this week. Across the Atlantic, political spouses have long used fashion as Morse code. European royals play the game, too. Queen Maxima champions Dutch designers. Spain's Queen Letizia wields sleek power suits like statements of intent. The House of Windsor, however, prefers a lower decibel, letting grandmotherly cardigans and sturdy brooches do the whispering. That's why a flicker of shimmer on Anne, of all people, lands like a cymbal crash in a string quartet. Public reaction has been telling. Older viewers praised the glint as proof that even the most dutiful royals can enjoy a little flourish. Younger audiences saw a relatable grandmother embracing glow. Critics who brand the family stuck in amber suddenly scrambled to write op-eds about lip finish. Will we see gloss on royal lips at next summer's garden parties? Maybe, maybe not. Palace dress codes change by incremental consensus, not decree. But every equerry, stylist, and courtier lob that shimmer, because precedent, once set, is hard to ignore. Timing matters. With headlines fixated on economic woes and political storms, the monarchy knows small visuals can carry disproportionate reassurance. A hint of shimmer says, we recognize the present tense. We can honor history without embalming ourselves inside it. Let's not forget the practical side. Chapel interiors lit by both candles and 4K cameras can flatten complexions. A lip with gentle sheen photographs more vibrantly, keeping the speaker's face alive on millions of screens. Perhaps and simply understood optics, in every sense of the word. So what comes next? Palace watchers will scrutinize Anne's autumn schedule. She's due at the Braemar Highland Games in September, traditionally wearing a feathered Homburg and tartan day dress. Will the shimmer return, or will she revert to disciplined matte? Either outcome becomes a narrative. Repetition signals new normal, retreat signals one-off flourish. Such is the peculiar calculus of royalty, every lipstick tube a potential footnote in constitutional history. There's an intergenerational subplot, too. Princess Charlotte, still in single digits, has begun attending large-scale events like Trooping the Colour. By the time she reaches Aunt Anne's age, beauty standards will have shifted again. The shimmer moment might read as a minor note, or the first drop in a gentle wave. Culture changes one tweak at a time, the same way medieval pageantry evolved into televised ritual watched by billions. For decades photographers have relied on Anne for guaranteed front-page images, not because she courts them, but because her relentless schedule makes her ever-present. In the 70s it was mud-spattered jodhpurs, in the 90s, practical tweeds and headscarves, in the 2020s, still the same brisk stride, but now a pair of AirPods, and occasionally, a smartphone. The shimmer joins that timeline, a breadcrumb future biographers will use to chart a woman who never sought reinvention yet never feared refinement. So yes, perhaps the monarchy's most disciplined soldier flexed the rules. But discipline, at its highest form, leaves room for intelligent adaptation. A general who ignores new tactics loses the war, a royal who ignores the century risks irrelevance. With one understated swipe of lipstick, Princess Anne reminded us she understands both battlefields. Does this herald a broader shift in palace presentation, or will it remain a singular shimmer of personal taste? Let us know in the comments. Was it rebellion, remembrance, or merely a good-humored nod to summer sunlight? Debate keeps tradition alive, and your voice matters. Thank you for watching and staying until the final frame. If moments like this fascinate you, tap like, subscribe, and ring the bell so the next royal ripple lands straight in your feed. Until then, stay curious, stay courteous, and as ever, stay royal.